9 German wagons that beat supercars, 2.4 seconds to 60, 202 miles per hour, 717 horsepower. None of these belong to a supercar. They belong to family wagons, German ones. And the fastest one on this list shouldn't exist. The supercar isn't getting slower. The wagon is just getting faster. 9 of them, tested, timed, ranked. Number 9, BMW M340iX Drive Touring, starting around $58,000. This is where it starts to break, because this car should not be on this list. It looks like a normal 3 Series wagon. It absolutely isn't. This normal BMW estate is already faster than cars that used to define performance. Cars that had one job, one purpose, one reason to exist. The M340i does it on the school run. B58 inline 6, all-wheel drive, 382 horsepower, 0 to 60, under 5 seconds. 20 years ago, this was sports car speed. Now it's your daily. Nobody sees it coming. No aggressive badge. No warning. It just moves. You don't need a track. You don't need a perfect road. This is the kind of speed you feel merging onto a highway. The kind that turns a normal drive into something else entirely. One moment you're in traffic, the next you're not. And unlike most SUVs in this price range, this doesn't feel heavy. It feels alive. And here's the part that matters for your money. The B58 is one of the most reliable performance engines BMW has ever built. Fuel costs are manageable. Running costs are reasonable. Owners keep these for years, and that tells you everything. This is the entry point, and it's already faster than it has any right to be. The next one doesn't feel faster. It feels completely different. Number 8, Audi RS4 Avant Competition, starting around $87,000. This is where things start to tighten. Twin-turbo V6, quattro grip, 444 horsepower, 0 to 62, low 4s. That is quicker than a stock Porsche Cayman GT 4 to 60. A car built for one purpose. The RS4 does it on the way to the supermarket, quiet, controlled, almost clinical. Quattro finds grip before you've registered the launch. The gearbox drops before you've asked. And suddenly, you are pulling away from cars that cost twice as much. It doesn't shout, it doesn't need to. Competition trim sharpens everything. Stiffer, more focused, more alive on a twisty road, on real roads. The gap to the M3 Touring is smaller than the price difference suggests. And here is what makes the RS4 genuinely dangerous on a real road. It does not telegraph what it is about to do. Most fast cars give you a warning, a sound, a shift in character, something that tells you the performance is coming. The RS4 gives you nothing. You ask, it delivers. No ceremony, no buildup. That predictability, that absolute confidence in its own ability, is what separates it from cars that are merely fast. Ownership note, thirsty on fuel. Premium tires and brakes are not cheap, but it undercuts the M3 on price and over-delivers on feel. And this is where control stops being the story, because the next one isn't controlled, it's explosive. Number 7, BMW M3 Touring, starting around $92,000. This is where the line disappears. S58 inline 6. X-Drive 8, 510 horsepower, 0 to 60, 3.37 seconds. CarWow tested. Quarter mile, 11.6 seconds. Let's put that in context. A 2005 Ferrari F430, one of the most celebrated supercars of its generation, ran the quarter mile in around 12 seconds. The M3 Touring beats it, while carrying luggage, while having rear seats. This isn't a fast wagon. This is an M3 that happens to carry luggage. It launches, clean, hard, every single time. The S58, the same engine in the M4 CSL, pulls with a ferocity that feels almost inappropriate for the body it sits in. And it is not just fast in a straight line. It is fast everywhere. Corners, on-ramps, roads you probably shouldn't be attacking. The M3 Touring is alive in a way that most performance cars simply are not. Think about what BMW actually built here. They took the most driver-focused sedan they make, added a longer roofline, a bigger boot, rear seats that fit adults, and lost nothing. Zero compromise on the performance side, zero apology for the practical side. That should not be possible. And yet, here it is. Ownership note, premium consumables, big insurance. But nothing in this class drives like it. Nothing. Up to now, this still made sense. The next one doesn't. Number 6, Alpina B5 Touring, starting around $120,000. This is something else entirely. Not aggressive, not loud, just effortless. Top speed, 202 miles per hour. Let that land. The Gallardo, the 458, and this wagon all top out at 202. While the air suspension irons out every imperfection in the road, while the cabin stays quieter than most luxury sedans, while it looks like nothing special parked outside a hotel. This is not a performance car wearing a suit. This is a grand tourer that forgot to have limits. The V-Max king of this entire list. Alpina occupies a space no other manufacturer reaches. Not as raw as an M car, not as clinical as an RS, not as theatrical as an AMG. It is fast without trying to tell you it is fast. And that restraint, that refusal to perform for the crowd, is exactly what makes it the most interesting car on this half of the list. The person who buys an Alpina B5 Touring is not trying to impress anyone. They already know what they have, and that quiet confidence is worth more than any badge. Ownership note: Alpina parts are not BMW parts. Lead times are longer. Independent mechanics are rare. Factor in dealer servicing, and this is a $120,000 car that costs like a $180,000 car to maintain. But for the right buyer, there is nothing else like it. What comes next doesn't just match that, it changes the rules completely. Up to this point, these were surprising. A 3 Series wagon that embarrasses sports cars, an RS4 that beats a Cayman GT 4-60, an M3 that quarters faster than a Ferrari F430, an Alpina doing 202 miles per hour in silence. Up to now, you could still explain it. Engineering, tuning, smart packaging. At some point, performance became about size and more weight, more height, more bulk. These go in the opposite direction. From here, you can't explain it anymore. This is where the logic breaks, because what comes next doesn't follow the rules anymore. Number 5, Porsche Taycan Sport Turismo. Starting around $89,000, GTS, $163,000 Turbo S, no engine noise, no turbo spool, no warning, just gone. 0 to 62, 2.4 seconds, Turbo S spec, tested, verified. A Lamborghini Huracan does it in 2.9. The Taycan Sport Turismo does it in 2.4, in a wagon, with rear seats, with boot space. There is no buildup, no warning. Just a moment where everything around you slows down and you don't. It doesn't build speed, it deletes distance. Active ride suspension, rear axle steering, torque vectoring. This is a precision performance machine that happens to have a practical body. The best driving EV wagon on the planet right now, and it is not particularly close. Honest caveat, the Taycan Turbo S manages heat aggressively. Back-to-back launches will trigger thermal protection and reduce power. For a single pull from a standing start, nothing on this list touches it. For a track day, bring something else. If you think that's extreme, the next one brings the noise back and turns everything up. Number 4, Mercedes-AMG E63S wagon. Starting around $110,000 used. This is the one everyone knows. And for good reason. 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, 612 horsepower, drift mode, launch control, a WD 0 to 60, 3.09 seconds. Car wow tested. Quarter mile, 11.7 seconds. Brutal, repeatable, relentless. This isn't speed you measure. This is speed you feel. The V8 crackles, it pops, it roars, and when you engage drift mode in a wagon, the rear steps out with a confidence that should not be legal in something this practical. But here is what the spec sheet doesn't tell you. The E63S is the car that changed the conversation. Before this, fast wagons were a niche, a curiosity. The E63S made it impossible to ignore. And consider what Mercedes actually did here. They took their most violent engine, dropped it into a family estate, added drift mode in a car with school-run practicality. That decision alone tells you everything about what AMG stands for. Not refinement for its own sake, not performance as a marketing exercise, performance as a statement, as a philosophy, as proof that you can have everything and refuse to apologize for any of it. This is the wagon that made people stop laughing at wagons. Ownership note: heavy on fuel, heavy on tires, heavy on brakes. Service costs are real, but the theater, the sound, the violence, the sheer absurdity of it, nothing here matches it for drama. And this is where fast stops being impressive and starts becoming ridiculous. Number 3, Audi RS6 Avant Performance. starting around $130,000. This is the benchmark. 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, 48-volt mild hybrid, 621 horsepower, Quattro, ZF 8-speed, 0 to 60, 3.09 seconds. Redline reviews, tested repeatedly. Quarter mile, 11.3 seconds, the fastest on this list. In CarWow's test, RS6 ran 11.3. M5 Touring ran 11.4, 1/10 of a second. At this level, that is not a gap, that is a tie. Except the RS6 costs less and drinks less fuel getting there. And this is where people consistently underestimate it. You don't feel like you're pushing it, you don't feel like you're near the limit. And then you look down and realize you're moving faster than you should be. That is the RS6 in one sentence. The others are fast. The RS6 is composed while being fast. There is a distinction, and it matters. While most performance SUVs rely on weight and power to get the job done, the RS6 does it with precision, lower, sharper, more connected to the road beneath it. This is not a tall car pretending to be fast. This is a fast car that happens to carry everything you need. Quattro traction in all weather, air suspension that manages both comfort and body control, an interior that feels genuinely premium without trying too hard. And the mild hybrid system deserves more credit than it gets. It is not there for fuel economy headlines. It is there to fill the gaps, the micro moments between gear changes, between throttle inputs, where a pure combustion engine would hesitate. The RS6 performance never hesitates. That seamlessness, that feeling of one unbroken wave of acceleration, is what makes it the most complete performance wagon ever built. Ownership note, 14 to 21 miles per gallon. Bring your fuel card and your tire guy. Gas guzzler tax in the US is real, but as a complete system, nothing here touches it, except one. Number 2, Mercedes-AMG E53 wagon W214, starting around $95,000. This is the one that shouldn't work. On paper, it makes no sense. A 3.0-liter inline-six, not a V8, not the engine you expect at this level. And yet, 577 horsepower, a 21.2 kilowatt-hour battery, an electric motor that fills every gap before the turbo has time to think. 0 to 60, 3.4 seconds. Car and driver instrumented test, not a claim, a result. Quarter mile, 11.8 seconds at 118 miles per hour. That is supercar pace from something that looks like a luxury family estate. But here is what makes the E53 genuinely special. It is two completely different cars depending on what you ask of it. In EV mode, it is silent, composed, effortless. 41 miles of pure electric running that makes it the most civilized thing on this list for a daily commute. Then you put it in race start mode, and everything changes. The electric motor and the Turbo 6 hit simultaneously. No lag, no hesitation, no warning. Just 577 horsepower, arriving all at once in a wave that pins you to your seat and doesn't let go until you lift. This is not a compromise between performance and efficiency. This is both at the same time, in the same car. And the interior matches the ambition. This is a Mercedes. The quality, the refinement, the technology, it is all there. Nothing on this list feels more like a complete luxury product. Honest caveat, the battery sits under the boot floor and reduces cargo space slightly compared to the standard E-Class estate. And the brakes, according to Car and Driver, lack the ultimate finesse you might expect at this price. But in every other dimension, this is flawless. Silent 1 minute, savage the next. That duality, that ability to be everything at once, is exactly why it sits here. And what comes next takes everything this car does and makes it louder, heavier, and more violent than it has any right to be. Number 1, BMW M5 Touring G99, starting around $129,000. This is where things stop making sense. 717 horsepower, 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8, and an electric motor working alongside it. Hybrid violence, all-wheel drive, a body that suggests absolutely none of it. 0 to 62, 3.5 seconds. Quarter mile, 11.4 seconds. CarWow tested. A decade ago, 717 horsepower meant hypercars. Cars you couldn't daily. Cars you couldn't live with. Cars that demanded everything from you just to operate them. Now it's something you can drive in silence and then unleash in seconds. It will pull away from an Audi R8 V10. It will gap a Porsche 911 Carrera on a rolling start. It will embarrass almost anything at a motorway on-ramp while carrying 5 people in their luggage. The electric motor fills every gap the V8 leaves. No turbo lag, instant response. Then the V8 arrives, and the whole thing becomes something that shouldn't be road legal. 41 miles of silent EV running, then 717 horsepower. Same car, same day, family holiday boot space included. And while performance SUVs keep getting bigger, heavier, and taller, this goes the other way. Lower stance, longer body, all the practicality with none of the compromise that comes from sitting 3 feet off the ground. This is not what an SUV does. This is what an SUV cannot do. Ownership note, 2.5 tons, complex PHEV system, big insurance, heavy consumables. This is not a cheap car to own, but nothing else on this list does what it does. This is not evolution. This is a category collapse. 9 German wagons, real numbers, verified tests, no brochure math. The engineers at BMW, Audi, and Mercedes are no longer building fast wagons. They are building supercars and giving them practical bodies as an afterthought. That is the shift. That is the story. And somewhere along the way, while everyone was buying SUVs, these quietly became the smartest performance vehicles on the road. V8 drama, hybrid violence, or silent EV shock. E63S, M5 Touring, or Taycan Sport Turismo? Which era are you backing? Tell us below. And if we missed one, you know where the comments are. Next up, German coupes. Same treatment. The numbers there are even harder to believe. Supercars didn't get slower. These just caught them.